shadows on the neck. So I was trying to eliminate it, so I wanted to put up. And when I sat here for them to install the light, the electrician was here. He sent a surge through the whole system. And so there were sparks coming out of the edge of the television and so on and so forth. And I also wanted to clean the carpet because I found that they weren't cleaning the carpet properly. So I decided to show the guys how to clean carpet because I learned how to clean carpet in my mother's house. It wasn't any big deal. You know what I mean? I learned how to polish the floor. I learned how to make pounded yam. I learned how to make tea. My mother would throw tea at my face because the water is not hot. How many of you have experienced that before? And there was sparks. And I told the electrician and my staff afterwards, I said to them, when you finish and he has fixed everything, test everything to make sure that everything is okay so that we don't come to church in the morning. They came to work this morning. They put on the light. 4 bulbs got burnt. Look at the lights flashing. People don't know how you take your decisions. What I was trying to do by telling them to run a check was to avoid this morning. But what to take I check everything. Do you see the thinking? When I'm trying to prevent a bigger problem, you know what I mean, of damaging the service or putting my congregation at risk with electrical fires. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. Because people don't understand the principles under which they make decisions. And that's a big problem for us in this country. We don't understand that decision making is made basically by principles. The guy, I'm saying this now because this recently happened to me. It was yesterday. I was invited to take part in an interview. And they said to me, how do you take that? I said, I've learned one thing when I was younger, is to always take decisions on long-term benefits, not on short-term benefits. I said to them when I was in Jesus Embassy, I was doing a program with the General Overseer of Redeemed Christians of God. And they told me to pay for scaffolding. And they gave me the bill for the scaffolding. And I looked at the bill for the scaffolding. I said, with this money, I can build my own scaffolding. I will have to add more. So I went ahead and built my own scaffolding. And I realized this is 20 years later, I'm still using the scaffolding till today. Because I had learned at that time that anytime I want to take a decision, I must think of the long term. And ladies and gentlemen, the reason why people who are in poor, quote, look stupid is because they always take short-term decisions. In other words, a bricklayer who needs to make 5,000 or 15,000 naira today will lie, cheat, and do everything in his way to get that 10,000 because his family depends on it. Am I making sense? But a long-term person will say, how do I satisfy my customer so that he can come back tomorrow? I don't know if you get my point. So these people are not stupid. It's because they don't have the choices you have. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Are you here? Poor people are not stupid. They just have less choices than you have. And because their choices are fewer, they make stupid decisions. Am I making sense? They cheat, they lie. Yet you and I know, she knows and she's taught it here, that your greatest sales comes from your repeat customers. And so you tend to satisfy your customers so that they can come back. But most people cheat their customers and they don't have repeat customers. Do you see decision making there? Are you here? Do you see where I'm going with all this? And so this is part of what you call an operating system. So if you don't have these underlying principles, I don't just take a decision for taking a decision's sake. How many of you grew up and your parents will tell you, they'll say, Daddy, why should I do that? He said, because I said so. That's never sufficient. I remember when I told you about the lady who in England bought a gift, told me to pick a gift from my kids, and I remember choosing a game called PlayStation 2 at that time. And it had this Harry Potter series on it. It came with the game. And so when I got home, and my boys were there, I said to my boys, I said, listen, guys, I know you guys have not heard about Harry Potter. Let me tell you what Harry Potter is. Harry Potter is a movie about witches and so on and so forth. We Christians don't believe in it. You know what I mean? But if you guys want to watch Harry Potter, then your mom and I will sit down with you and watch it and explain to you the parts that we don't agree. Am I making sense? And the boys opted, they're not going to watch it. And I don't know if you get the point I'm making. The point I'm trying to make is that I gave them my principles. I don't know if you understand what I mean. And on the basis of that, they were able to make decisions. My wife traveled to America and came back with a tape. I can't remember the name of the doctor, of the lady. She's a health healer. She came back, and the summary of the tape was, headaches are not caused by the absence of Panadol. That was the summary of it. She says, when you have a headache, it's not because you didn't take Panadol. So if you don't get to the root cause of your headache, you will continue to use Panadol to solve your problems. Do you understand what she's saying? We watched that tape with my 10-year-old son. From that day till today, the boy doesn't take Panadol. Anytime he has a headache, he goes to sleep. And the headache goes. I don't know if I'm making sense. What has happened to him? Something, he has understood the principle. Are you here? Yes, sir. He has understood principles and is making him make decisions. That's why we're given scripture. That's why we're taught all these things. The Bible says, be angry, sin not. That's an operating system. I don't know if I'm making sense. In other words, you can be as angry as you can, as you want to be, but don't turn it into sin. Are you here? We have to understand why this is important. And many times, maybe 8 out of 10 times, a lot of these decisions are going to be instinctive. Am I making sense? If you have imbibed them, am I making sense? You would naturally know what to do. Somebody crosses you in the car, you won't abuse the person. I don't know if I'm making sense.